Hello, class. You were looking at the math lesson for March 19th. Hopefully you have your packet out here. We're going to be using this 2 more days, and then we'll move on to some actual lessons from there. So once again, if this is the first time you're watching, if you're watching this video first as opposed to my ELA, obviously I'm not at school, and no one's there, and there's no dog. I wasn't sure if that's Finley or Mindy or Quantum or somebody, but it's one of the dogs we've had. So because of the earthquake, I'm actually at home, just following what they've asked us to do, is to stay at home. So I'm just kind of roughing it up and gumming it out. So still have all my stuff though. Still have my number 6, which disappeared apparently. So that was weird. Woo. So hit that up to start the day. And I'm just ready. So hope you guys are safe. More importantly, I know that there was another good sized earthquake just a bit ago, and your safety is by far the more important than any school or anything to that extent whatsoever. So we're going to work on continued ratios today. If you have any question on how to solve it or any problem or anything to that extent. And then halfway through, I do have a joke that was turned in by Mercedes. So if you guys have jokes yourselves, make sure you let me know and I'll go ahead and post them. Mercedes is pretty dang funny. So anyway, like I said, that's kind of where we're at there. So let me go ahead and get started here. We're at question number 16. So page 3, you guys can go to that review packet, and let's go ahead and start. Mr. Pie wants to buy dinner forks and saw the following information. So 1 box and 8 forks, 2 boxes 16, 324, 4 how many? How many are in 4 boxes? So once again, the easiest thing on this one is going to be pretty quick. We're going to go ahead and just do our ratio, right? We have how many boxes? 1 box. How many forks? 8 forks. Okay, so our ratio right now is going to be 1 to 8, right? That can be written in a bunch of different ways. And the question is, how many are in 4 boxes? So you could basically just do arc of death to get there. Some of you, your math is going to be super simple. 1 to, let me see if I can pick that up a little bit. 1 to 4, how do you get from 1 to 4? Just multiply it by 4, right? So go ahead and multiply this one by 4. Do the same thing on that side, okay? Where my math genius is at when I need them, right? 8 times 4, pretty easy, is 32. So our right answer in this one is 32. Okay, let's go ahead and go to question number 17. Mrs. Flores brought colored beads for a student activity. She gave each student 3 colored beads. Which table shows the correct ratio of students to beads? So the bigger question is, well, let's go ahead and start with our ratio. Let's get that one done. So we know that there's 1 student and they're each going to get 3 colored beads. So my ratio is 1 to 3. So where do you start, right? You can pretty much start anywhere. I'll just attack the first problem and see if that helps me out, and then I'll kind of go from there. So first problem is there 1 student is now 5 students, okay? And my 3 beads, what does that get there? From 1 to 5, what is my problem? So I'm going to basically multiply this by 5. Same thing on that side, so it's now 15. So as you can tell, I've essentially eliminated 2 answers, right? Because my ratio is 5 to 15. Could it be number 1, or could it be letter A? No. Could it be letter D? No. So now I just keep on going. You notice how the numbers get a little bit different here. Let's try this one out. So my ratio is 1 to 3, and I want to get to 8. Okay. Times 8, and then times 8. So at this point, I basically need to know what 3 times 8 is to get the right answer. A little curved here, sorry. 3 times 8 equals what? 24. So my answer in this one is 24. What's the only one that has a ratio of 8 to 24? That one's not. So my only answer is C. Okay. Okay, question number 18. Question number 18. Tracy plans to make puppets to give as gifts. She uses 8 pieces of yarn for every puppet. Which table shows the correct relationship between puppets and yarn? Very similar to what we did before, right? I'm going to go ahead and put my ratio in here, which I know it's 1 puppet for 8 pieces of yarn. Okay. So let's go ahead and do the first one. It says 6 puppets right here. How do I get from 1 to 6? Obviously times 6. How do I get, what is 8 times 6? Give me a second to think about that. 48. Okay. So my ratio is now 6 to 48. Look at how I instantly eliminated both 2 of my answers. Eliminated this one, eliminated this one. Now I'm down to either C or D. Okay, let's go ahead and do the next one. Multiply by 9. Well, I'll make it a little bit simpler here. And multiply this one by 9. Okay, 1 times 9 equals, 1 times what equals 9 is 9. So I need to do the same thing on this other side, right? Let's go ahead and multiply this one by 9. What is 8 times 9? 72. So I know my ratio is 72. Is 9 to 72. 9 to 63. It's clearly not this one. My only obvious answer is C, the letter C. Number 19, Marcel has to buy colored shoelaces for everyone on his tennis team. How much will 16 pairs of laces cost? Okay. The nice thing is we have our ratio on the top. Let me give you a little bit of a hint, okay? Just to make it a little bit easier, you're gonna wanna find multiples in order to make this work. What I mean by multiples is you wanna find an easy number on this side that'll multiply with what you're trying to get to. Is 4 a multiple of 16? Yes, okay? The reason why I'm telling you this is it'll make sense a little bit more. So we're gonna go ahead with 4 pieces of shoelaces and $3. Okay, we need to get to 16. 4 times what equals 16? 4. You do the same exact thing on the other side. 4 times 3 equals 12. So my ratio is 16:12, and I have $12. So my only obvious answer there is letter C. Once again, the whole thing where I was telling you about how to figure that out will make sense as we keep on going. But multiples will definitely be a lot easier. When Melanie downloads songs to her mobile device, she gets 4 songs per session. Okay, this is an easy one because there's a 1 to 4. So I'm going to go ahead and put 1 session and 4 songs, just so I don't mess this one up. Okay, we now know she has 16 sessions. And how many songs will she get? Basically just multiply this by 16, right? I don't have choral response for you, so I want you guys to be loud and proud as you guys help me out, okay? 4 times 6 equals 24. Write the 4, carry the 2. 4 times 1 equals 4, plus 2 equals 6. So what's our ratio? 64. Easy, right? Choral response will definitely be an easy way for you to do that, okay? All right, question number 21. When Cristobal views video blogs online, he views 7 blogs per session, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and do my ratio that I know right off the bat, sessions for blogs, okay? How many will he view after 15 sessions? Super easy, just multiply this by 15, do the exact same thing on the opposite side, okay? Let's go ahead and do this one. You guys ready? A little choral response. Hopefully you're saying it loud and proud. 5 times 7 equals 35. Write the 5, carry the 3. 7 times 1 equals 7, plus 3 equals 10, right? 105. So my answer is D, 105. Okay, Number 22. Before we get to number 22, we only have about 4 to go. I think it's probably an appropriate time to throw some jokes. So, especially in light of all that we've been going through. So, Mercedes, nice job on your submission. What is the capital of Washington? What is the capital of Washington? The big W. Get it? Because W is in Washington is the capital letter. All right. I thought that was pretty funny. You could always use our good friend Trevor's joke of calculator. So I honestly don't even remember what the joke was now, but it was still pretty funny. Okay, let's get through these next 3 questions there. Once again, if you have a joke, feel free to submit it in the comments and I'll go, or just text me and I'll go ahead and add that one tomorrow just to mix things up. A highway construction company is charged $1,500 for each day it is late in completing the job. How much will it be charged for 4 days late? Don't get intimidated by the numbers, okay? We know that it's 1 day late. There's a charge of $1,500, right? So, arc of death, right? So we know that now, what is it going to be for 4 days late, right? Basically multiply this one by 4. Okay, let's go ahead and figure this one out. Choral response. Hopefully you guys are doing it loud and proud. 4 times 0 equals 0. Write the 0. 4 times 0 equals 0. Write the 0. 4 times 5 equals 20. Write the 0. Carry the 2. 4 times 1 equals 4 plus 2 equals 6. $6,000. Okay, for being late. So that's our easy answer there. It is the letter B, 6. Okay, number 23. The printer prints 16 pages every minute. Boom, right off the bat, I have my ratio. I have 16 pages every 1 minute. So pages and minute. How many will it do in 6 minutes? Just multiply that by 6, right? And you do the exact same thing on this side. Okay, let's go ahead and do 16 times 6. 6 times 6 equals 36. Write the 6, carry the 3. 6 times 1 equals 6 plus 3 equals 9. So my ratio is 96 to 6. My answer is B. Always good to check, make sure I'm giving you guys right answers, and I think that it is B. Okay. Nice job, Mr. Diaz. Whew. Okay, 2 more to go, you guys. You're doing really good from there. A store sells box sets of the checkerboard game. The table shows the number of checkers per boxed set. So the nice thing is we know our ratio. We have 1 box set for 24 checkers. It's saying how many are in there? In 6 box sets. So basically just got to do the exact same thing on this side. 24 times 6. Okay, if you guys can help me out with some choral response, that way we're in a good spot there. All right, so let's go ahead and get this started. Hopefully you guys are ready. 6 times 4 equals 24. Write the 4, carry the 2. 6 times 2 equals 12, plus 2 equals 14. 144. Our answer would be D. Last one. What is the amount of savings in 8 months? What is the amount of savings in 8 months? Okay, this is where I told you it's going to be a little bit tricky, right? Okay, so be careful. If we did 3, can we eventually get there? Yeah, so go ahead and do 3 to 90. Oops. And then we need to get to 8. Can we, in theory, get there? It would be a division problem, right? We need to divide 3 into 8. We'd get a fraction, and it makes it a little bit trickier, okay? It ends up being like 2.66666, right? Then it's the mark of the devil, okay? So what I mean by finding a common multiple is you're trying to get to 8. What's a common multiple of 8? Is it 3? Is it 5? Or is it 4? It's 4. That's the one we're going to want to go with, right? So let's do 4 months. over 120 savings. Here's what I'm talking about. When you try to get to the 8 months, isn't that going to be a lot easier? Look at right here. 4 times what equals 8? 2. Basically do that on this side. Okay. 120 times 2 equals what? 240. Do you see how that was a lot easier than doing it any other way? That's kind of why I chose to do it that way. All right. Okay, we got through our first 5 questions there. We only got 5 more to go because I want to get to 15. Okay. So I apologize on fake newsing you guys. I want to get to at least 15 of these. So let's go ahead and work on these next 2. Mr. Santusa is a farmer in Bolivia. He planted 8 hectares of barley and harvested 18,400 kilograms. Okay. Or yeah, kilograms. Okay. So we're basically just trying to find the best one that works here. How do you get there? Well, eventually we want to get to the 1, right? I think that's going to be the best thing, is to find out what the unit rate is. So let me show you guys what I do. So I have my 8 hectares and I have 18,400 kilograms. Okay. Arc of death works out really well for this, doesn't it? Okay. All right. So I want you to think about this as you kind of go here. How do I get from 8 to 1? Easy, right, Mr. Diaz? I just divide this by 8. That takes me to 1. So what do I need to do on this side with arc of death? Just divide that by 8 as well, okay? 8 goes into 18 2 times. 18 minus 16 is 2. Bring down the 4. 8 goes into 24. How many times? 8 goes into 24. How many times? You guys knew that one, right? 3. Okay. Bring down some zeros. It's going to be zeros at this point. So my ratio is 1 to 2,300. Look at how cool that does. That makes our life a lot easier, because didn't we just eliminate a couple things? Okay. Is it for sure not going to be number 1? Okay. Is it for sure not going to be number 2? Because 2,300, right, is what it's saying for 2, but we know that that is for 1. So now we have these 2 left. Okay. Using simple math, some of you guys could figure this one out, but let's just go ahead and try this one out and see. Okay. 2,300 times 3. Let's see what that comes out to be. 3 times 0 equals 0. Write the 0. 3 times 0 equals 0. Write the 0. 3 times 3 equals 6. 3 times 2 equals 6. No, 9. See, Mr. Diaz still can't get the math right. So 6,900, right? Is that even close for answer B? So our real answer would be C. Okay. All right, Mr. Hassan owns a sports equipment manufacturing plant. Last week, the plant shipped 230 crates to fill 2 orders for 6,900 footballs. Okay. What is the number of footballs in each crate? That shows the correct relationship. Okay. Very similar. You're doing the exact same thing to get to your number. Okay. Ultimately, in this one, you're going to want to do math to get there. So let's go ahead and do this. So let's get to the 1. So 230 to 6,900. Okay. To get to 1, what do I need to do? Divide it by 230. Okay. You need to do the exact same thing here. Divide it by 230. Okay. So 230 goes into 6,900. Okay. This is where cover comes out. Okay. 2 goes into 6 how many times? 3. Okay, and if you did the math, it would actually be 30 exactly. So in the interest of time, I'm just going to give you guys that one answer. So it's actually 30. So our ratio is 1 to 30. Once again, double check my math, but I think it should be right from there. Okay, now let's go ahead and start solving this one. Right off the bat, we're going to get the right answer because we're just going to multiply it by 80. So let's go ahead and go 1 to 80. And then we know that it's 30 here. So times 8, and then we go 30 times 8. 0. What would 8 times 3 be? 24. So 240. Oh, and then there's a 0 here, so it's an extra 0. Once again, good thing you guys can't even see that one, I guess, right? Sorry. So 30 times 80 is 2,500. Basically 8 times 3 and then add the 2 zeros. Okay. So where's the only one that would have 2,400? There it is, letter C. Always find the basic ratio if you can. It definitely makes your life a little bit easier as you're trying to solve these ones. All right. Joe works in the paint department of the home store. He looks at the chart below to determine how to make various colors of orange. Use the following rules to determine the amount of paint needed to make this type of orange. The amount of red is 2 times the amount of orange is the amount of red. Holy cow, medium orange. The amount of red paint is 2 times the yellow paint. Okay, so think about this one. Okay, let's just go ahead and use this rule. So the amount of red paint is 2 times the yellow paint. Okay, so what is 2 times yellow? 4. And it basically says here, the amount of medium orange is basically the amount of these two put together. So what's 4 plus 2? 6. That's our answer. Do you guys see how we got that jump? Same thing here. If it's 2 times this, what's 2 times 3? 6. 6 plus 3? 9. What's 2 times 4? 8. 8 plus 4? 12. And there's your chart. A motorcyclist is completing a 240-mile race. Create a table to show what his average speed will be if he wants to finish the race in 10 hours, 12 hours, 15 hours, 16 hours, or 20 hours. Okay, so you get to decide how you're going to make this table, but you're going to start at the exact same way as to find out, okay, our basic ratio. Okay, so let's go ahead and show this one. So let me just do one for you to make it a little bit easier. So we have 10 hours and he does 240 miles. Okay, how many will it get for him to do in 1 hour? So this is hours and this is miles. Okay, how much will it get for him to do 1 hour? Well, you guys got that one, right? Divide it by 10. Don't you do the exact same thing here? To divide by 10, you just drop that 0. So basically what it's saying is 1 hour is 24 miles. So we could go create a chart here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we could basically keep on going. 24, 48. And beyond that, my math is not too smart, right? 72. 96. And what would it look like? It would basically be like a straight shot up here. Okay. That's probably all I would expect you to do. But if you could tell, that's essentially what we're trying to get there, is we're trying to get to the basic ratio to figure this one out. That was a little bit of a tricky one. Okay. All right. So in this one, Patricia is twice as old as her brother Brent. Make a table that shows the 4 different possible ages for Brent. Okay. More importantly, what I want you to learn from this one, it is what is the ratio to get to B. So B is Brent's age, right? How do I figure out B? Okay. It would basically be Patricia times 2, because she's twice as old. So if Patricia was 4 years old, how old would Brett be? He would be 8, because she is twice as old as him. I got that backwards. Look at that. Mr. Diaz is still making mistakes. It's the other way around. And I'm sure most of you guys are correcting me on that just right now, especially you smart ones. It's the other way around, right? Patricia is equal to Brent times 2. Does that make sense? Sorry, we kind of ended on a weird spot, but that makes a little bit more sense because she's twice as old as Brent. So if Brent was 4, Patricia would be 8. Okay. All right. I think that's enough math for us today. That gets us through a little bit more problems in there. We're going to finish up the packet tomorrow. For your homework tonight, I don't even get to hear you guys whining, so that's actually kind of nice. I don't get to hear the ugh. You're going to do this math. It's pretty easy. You can look at it. It's just some basic questions about some ratios. I think I threw some expressions in here as well. I made it multiple choice for you. I may do in some fill-in later on, but I just wanted to make that nice and easy. And that's about it for math. Pretty easy. We're going to start when we come back from spring break. We're going to get a little bit tougher, go into some number systems and things like that. So just be aware. But that's all I got for you guys. Thanks so much. You guys have a great day. And if you haven't finished ELA, go to ELA. But if you finish both of them, you're done. How nice is that? All right. Thanks so much. Have a good day.